Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Monday, January 6, 2025. I'm going to jump right into kind of the near term today and 3 to 5 days out, and just to underscore the fact that as anticipated, not necessarily on Friday anticipated, but over the next few weeks anticipated, a settlement above the 141.87 descending channel top. Up to this point, we've been allowing the market to top out in this 138.94 to 141.87 region, allowing then bearish rotation within a couple of weeks back into what is now the mid to upper 120s. But the mid to upper 120s, these channel structures were actually tested on the weekly chart several weeks ago when we tested the inside channel. These are now the weekly levels. I'll let you do with those as you may. But for day-to-day fine-tuning, I do like to use the daily chart. And so having closed above 141.87, I can just work the upside today. We're expecting 148.31 possibly today, and over the next week or two, 152.89. So, 148.31 in reach today, and it just might contain daily buying pressures. I wanted to keep it light rather than session containment, and the possibility this market just sort of takes off, pushes through, closes above 148.31. It should then, Tuesday, Wednesday, test the 152.89 November 24 all-time high. Can we double top here for a week? I kind of doubt it. I do think what the market is inclined to do now is what I've been saying for the last few weeks is the settlement above 141.87 points to the mid 160s and climbing as a realistic, I'm going to say by the end of February objective, by which point it'll be in the mid to upper 170s. So it really is kind of a mid to upper 170s longer term objective. The weekly chart has similar structure, a 1-year channel top in the low 180s. So the recent buy signal, that occurred, last Friday above 141.87 does carry with it the possibility of a 160s to 180s longer term objective. And what I mean by that is over the next few months, by the end of February is possible. I'm not going to say likely, but if you look at this daily chart, you can see that the setup here is over the next 1 to 2 months. By the end of February, certainly a possibility. And yes, if on the way up, we happen to close above the 152.89 November high, then that just adds fuel to the rally where within just 2 to 3 weeks of closing above that area, we could push into what is now the mid to 160s to mid 170s kind of area and climbing. Okay, so that is the big picture. No good reason to be short NVIDIA, not only for the week, but also through February trade because of, the recent testing, if you will, of channel support. This is the daily chart. We didn't test it on the daily chart, but we did, as I mentioned a moment ago, test it on the weekly chart. The 126.90 to 129.31 region, midterm support, able to contain selling through February. And as I've been saying, above which the mid 160s and climbing remain kind of a 2 to 3 month target. And now that we've closed above 141.87, I think it's by the end of February is certainly possible. Once again, I'm going to work the way up here today. We've got minor points scattered about, but the more significant is 148.31. You might consider this a session containment level. You can buy 141.87 today if given the opportunity and hold out over the next day, 2 or 3 for 148.31 or over the next week or two for 152.89. You can also buy 141.87, by the way, on a longer term basis. If you were reluctant to bottom pick the market, a few weeks ago when we were testing this channel support on the weekly chart and on the daily chart, once again, the 126.90 to 129.30 region, that would be buying on weakness. This is now buying on strength, breakout strength above 141.87, expecting 152.89 by the end of next week or sooner, and over the next month or two, as I've been saying, that mid 160s and climbing, 166.94 in reach. That covers the upside pretty well. If we break 141.87 today, 138.94 is in reach. That is the inside channel, and that could contain selling pressures for the remainder of the day. But I think if we close below 141.87, I think it's sign enough to exit a long position because the risk is definitely then to, the downside. We do have 135.33 as a kind of a 1 to 2 day target. If we close today below 141.87, I don't expect to see 135.33 today. But if we close below 141.87, I do think you should expect it within the week. And being a shortened week at all with Carter's funeral, this may actually contain selling through the rest of the week. We could then get sort of trapped in this wedge for a day or two. But closing below 141.87 does risk the possibility of bearish continuation back into the mid to upper 120s. So closing below 141.87, I think, is an actionable enough sell signal where you could anticipate maybe by the end of next week. In fact, I think that would be likely by the end of next week, 126.90 to 129.31 in reach. You might wait for a settlement below 138.94. That's your call. This is a more decisive sell signal, but I think sell signal enough. Let's put it this way. If you're long now NVIDIA, anticipating bullish continuation over the next 1 to 2 weeks or over the next 2 to 3 months, as already outlined, you might exit that long position with a settlement below 141.87. Do you play the short side? Then you can enter a short position aggressively with a settlement below 138.94. I think that's a good way to play kind of the 1 to 2 week, 2 to 3 week time frame. If we close below 141.87, I will start talking the mid to upper 120s as a realistic by the end of week objective. And if we close today, Monday, below 138.94, there's every reason to consider the possibility that by Friday we could fall into this 126.90 to 129.31 region, which, by the way, the market does present a solid buy opportunity as we move into later Q1. We could bottom out here through February and round up again, holding above the mid to upper 120s. I will continue to outline, the mid 160s to mid 170s as a longer term objective, this long-term channel top. But, the last thing I will say, and do I show it here? I don't think I actually show. Yes, I do, right here. This is a weekly chart. So, we're not going to see this today, but if at the end of the week we close below 128.73, then we set up for the low 100 region as a 1 to 2 month target, 102.82 channel support. This could be 2 to 3 months depending on volatility, but I do think many will be running for the hills, so to speak. Longs will be bailing, and I do think that'll be a more accelerated descent. So 3 to 5 weeks possible. If we close below 128.73 by the end of February, I think a likely 102.82, where profits can be taken on a short position and long entry at 102.82 as we move into later year. This is a solid big picture support at 102.82, able to absorb selling into later year. And if we settle below 102.82, then the entire dynamic for NVIDIA has shifted from being the sort of continued rallying hyperbolic move to not anymore. And I don't really want to say where we would go at that point in time. I will have price points laid out for you if that were to occur. But for right now, just know midterm support at 128.73, able to absorb selling through February and through the first quarter. And yet, if settled below, does signal a 1 to 2 month sell off to 102.82, where a buy opportunity presents into later 25. I'm going to leave it at that. I will leave you with this image. Buy signal above 141.87, expected to yield continued gains as we move through the rest of January. You have a great day. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of that 5-day free trial. We offer weekly Apple stock analysis. We hit a 5-year channel top in Apple 2 weeks ago to the very tick, and we've been falling away ever since. You want to check it out. Daily Triple Q, daily SPY analysis. The Triple Q and the NASDAQ 100, all which have their own videos, are showing a significant price point that I didn't want to go there. You should check it out. I will be back tomorrow, of course, with Tuesday's NVIDIA. You have a great day.